riding on that momentum, even despite what S2G has shown to us so far. So now let's see, because it's finally time. We'll get all the answers we've been asking since the beginning of our...
Something else, or you get Eve and we get Jushin and something else, but no, he goes for the Bruno instead, because either way, he gets the Eve or the Jushin, right?
Dude, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, good choices.
So this is the first time S2G hasn't gotten their hands on the Suyo, so I'm looking at the Eve here that could be potentially picked up by Curtizi. He's been really great in playing the Eve yesterday. We've seen the positioning of each and every real world manipulation. Aside from that, the Jushin though is one to consider a lot, so I'm not sure which they want to go for. If they, speaking about comfort, they talked about comfort earlier, so the Cho or...
Let me remind you guys, this is a best of 1. The way that they're batting, it looks like a best of 3, right?
It looks like we're already at the stage of how we learned from the last game.
Exactly. And now Nlbb Flash, time is going down. Oh, they don't pick either. They're going for the high loss as well as the Cho. So mid and jungle is all open for Nlbb Flash.
Well, you don't have to pick up the mid, because no matter what, you're going to get the trade, right? So I think it's smart, right? And they get the Cho, they get the Hylos. They know they can still pick up the Jushin or Eve. On third pick here, Gata over to S2G. Do they go... I mean, jungle at this point, there's no super prio. You could pick up something like the Hayabusa if you wanted to. But again, you have to get that mid, and I love how each team is taking their times with this, because like, do we want to risk it, right? Do we go for something else and risk it?
Let me just talk about this, because most people believe that Eve is the counter towards the Jushin. So that's why it might hit. The Eve might be a little bit more prio, but they pick up the Hayabusa. You called it Trex, but instead of taking it later, they're just going to take it now. So Nlbb Flash, they have an advantage, or do they? Because if they don't pick up their goal leader, it's going to get banned out. If they pick up the mid laner, he can ban out the opposing mid laner. But now we have a fun fact here. Curtizi's mid lane Martis 4 times. Many one-time picks were unbeaten in MPLSG Season 8. Will they go for this? Is that why?
Who needs a Eve when you can pick Martis mid?
And then just ban both of them. Ban the Martis, ban the Eve, and then ban the Jushin.
I mean, we're expecting all of those bans to come in the latter portions of the draft, or who knows? Like, they might just be they might really go for that super heavy on the front lines type of composition. But they will secure their goal later here, though. Surprisingly, it's gonna be the Moskov, not even the Beatrix, not even anything else, not even the Harrod.
Hey, like Trex said. Ban out the mid laners. Heck, let S2G ban out the mid laners and then just pick up the Martis and then be like, bro, what are you gonna do with it? And then last picking the Joy. The Joy will have the magic damage. Everyone else has physical damage. Build around this.
Yeah, but I think at this point, your S2G, you just ban out the Joy, right? Unless NIP like forces a mid ban, like a little mid ban off. I think you ban out the Joy on S2G. You start banning into jungle here, and you just really limit down on NIP as much as possible.
And I feel like they really have to be careful though with whatever mid lane pick they're about to pick up here for S2G. Like Nlbb Flash, they are super efficient in their early game rotations, especially if Hades gets his hands on the Joy that you were both talking about. So they take out the Jushin.
Yeah, Joy's banned now.
Yeah. I mean, again, we saw it, so they have to see it as well. The question is, what if all of it gets bad, and then they're just like, you know what, we actually just want Fredrin. Fredrin has been popping up in M6.
And again, we saw it beat the Hayabusa yesterday.
Exactly.
We saw it beat the Hayabusa yesterday. It took a little bit of time. And if there's a team that will know how to slow play it, they will be able to do this. But NIP bans out the Jushin, they ban out the Valentina. They're forcing S2G at this point to ban the Eve.
Exactly.
Because like, if you don't, NIP gets first pick.
There's still the Aurora. They usually pick that up against the Hayabusa as well, but then I'm not entirely sure if that'll like complement the entire idea of how Nlbb Flash typically plays their early game. Because if they were to go for the Fredrin, then that would potentially be a slower start for Nlbb Flash as compared to S2G, who can they like focus and play around the Bruno and just let the Hayabusa do his thing.
They're taking the time here, Trex. They're thinking about it. If we let go of Eve, how are we going to fight against it? Is the Bruno strong enough?
Is NIP even going to go Eve?
Exactly.
They're
not going to take the risk.
Which I was
Now,
meant for.
pick up the jungle. Pick up the jungle so that the Martis can still be up. Or pick up the Martis and then you're like, is it mid? Is it jungle?
Yeah, who knows? Exactly. You just pick up the Martis now and you throw him for a big loop. S2G here, though, still needs an EXP, maybe a roam. You know, I mean, or a roam, maybe an EXP, depending on how they want to flex this. I think they could. We saw them pick the Ruby day 1.
Yeah.
I think it works well against the Cho. I think it works well against the Hylos. It works well against those heroes that want to try to get up in your face. And it creates more space for Siggy Boom. Could be a possible last pick here on their side. NIP Flash, first pick. What's going to happen? Bring it up.
I mean, there's the Khalid or the CC. There's a lot of options here, possibly.
What's it going to be?
But then... Wait!
Ling. I was thinking about this. I saw the Haya and I was thinking, what if they go Ling? And honestly, even if they pick up the Martis, it works well because you can stall for quite a while, but...
Faramis too. They could pick up something like Faramis here.
Faramis, like it.
S2G on the other hand still need EXP roam or mid, you know, however they want to flex things out here. Like I said, I like the...
If they pick up the glue, then I can see a Faramis doing quite well.
Yeah.
They might make the mistake of picking out the glue.
If they do that, then NIP definitely has the immediate answer, the immediate possibilities.
It's either really the
I think CC.
Ruby CC or
Ruby would work against the Ling though too, and it's another decent answer.
Oh, I don't know. CC works well against this comp as
CC,
well.
yeah.
They have a lot of options.
Oh, the Khalid. They go for the Khalid.
In the mid side.
The far side.
Against the Ling and the Cho.
Yeah, not gonna lie, even against the Moscow. Heck, even the Hylos just opened up the highway and be like, yo, Forza, you're blind, but I'm here, yo.
It's party time, baby. They're gonna have a block party under the feathered airstrike. Could be trouble. Risky pick.
Marcus is good again.
Martin also good against
So
Forza.
we're just throwing away the Aurora, the Vixana. We're not like minding all these heroes and possibly thinking that Curtis is going.
Brigida,
Yeah.
they're good heroes. But
Don't be
Marcus
wrong.
is exciting.
Don't get me wrong, the Farza does have the capabilities to always wings by wings away.
Angela.
Ling mid, I mean Angela mid, so Angeling, you got some feelings about this here.
I don't.
And the bracket right now still for the Swiss stage. I know it gets confusing, but NIP Flash yesterday, they were able to upset again, getting a win against Aurora. S2G were brought down to the 1-1 bracket here. And now we see them collide once again. It is a Farsa against a Ling. Not just any Ling, it's Hades, and it's an Angeling. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to jump into the land of dawn for match number 2. Here we go, S2G versus NIP Flash.
You know, if the Ling doesn't have a good start, NIP Flash is going to have a hard time. They're going to have to rely on the Angeling combination to get them through the late game. And at the same time, they have a Moskov that's also a late game. So NIP Flash needs to play this safe and at the same time, aggressive enough to stop S2G Esports from reaching their early game power spike.
Yeah, I'm actually quite, versed in the Angeling combination. We've seen this a lot in MPL Indonesia. And you guys probably seen the M6 pass around everywhere, wherever you go. And you guys can go and get it right now. The M6 pass is now available, up for grabs for you guys to get. You can actually achieve the level 75, that's a prime skin, with all the other Boxia skins and the avatar border, all for free. So go get yours today.
A lot of skins, a lot of giveaways. Thank you so much, Ramunton. Thank you so much, M6 World Championship. And thank you for this amazing game. Again, NIP Flash, they have the Cho. So in terms of providing a lot of vision for the Ling to actually rotate to wherever he wants to go, it's going to be vital for JPL to provide this information.
It's all about that mid-prio. It's all about canceling the feathered airstrike. And I think, Lofel Trex, Brigitte already brought it up earlier in the panel. There's a Ling, but you don't technically need the Ling to be the one to go on the far side. You have a horse to pop in the glorious pathway. You have Cho. And at the end of it all, maybe an SOD too. It's Master Assassin for both the Marksman and the Gold Lane. This is also the comfort pick of Vanix. We have seen, though, however, that Bruno does indeed win you games. So S2G, even though they went for, a gamble with the Farsa, and the Bruno is a good safety net that they can rely on here as they get mid-prio to set up for the first neutral objective of the game. Turtle number 1, purple buff, still not taken by Hades.
Okay, S2G Esports starting things off by having control on this turtle pit, but Diablo and JPL is just waiting for Hades to come in the picture. Here comes Hades, just waiting for the hard guard as well. They're just trying to zone them out. Raging Sandstorm coming in from Lunar, and Hades will secure the turtle.
Now it's going to be a attempt at the Blades. Pagu knocked up. More Defiant Blades on. Pagu with Revitalize. Trying to sustain over, but it'll still be first blood over to Hades.
Strong start for NIP Flash. I mean, JPL and Diablo just really doing their job, but Lunar gets kicked into that feathered airstrike, though. Okay, here comes Owigi Shadow Kill. Might be able to bring down Diablo, and Diablo is going to fall down.
Hey, 1 for 1. S2G make it back to equal on the board. Hades with a kill, Kazue with a kill. Though, Hades did not get the purple buff earlier, right? I mean, so now he's going to have a very long purple buff, technically. He went for the turtle fight. It was purely just Diablo and JPL creating space for him. So even without purple buff, he was all good there. Now, does it look like S2G are trying to go for the orange buff, trying to take what NIP Flash took away from them.
Right now, just JPL just trying to zone out 3 members, making sure for NIP Flash to get the secure. Okay, Kazue will get the kill onto JPL. That was a lot of resources expended, but well worth it for S2G to take down JPL.
Yep, it's going to be another slow game here, I would say, for both these teams. They both should be waiting for the next neutral objective. It'll be a lot of cuts. I do want to talk a bit about this matchup, though. Vanix, the old reliable, and MPL SG versus the sharpshooting Sigget Boom, Diablo.
At this point, they're just really trying to go for any of the members that they can see from NIP Flash. They're not afraid to burst down and use up a lot of skills and make sure to send a message to NIP Flash that we won't get bullied at any point of the game.
Vanex is going to be sent into the mid lane as well to catch some more waves, to get to that item power spike quicker. If we take a look at the items, Vanex, not yet with the corrosion sight just yet. The Haas Claw is also still being worked on by Sigiboo, but Kazue has finished the Hunter Strike. So that's an item advantage over Hades, who has yet to finish the Berserker's Fury. And turtle number 2 is coming. Despite NIP Flash getting turtle number 1, doesn't seem like they are on that gold lead. They don't have that grasp on the gold lead just yet. S2G looking like they're gonna set up for a big fight mid-prio towards Begin and Lunar.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think NIP Flash, is this really the best composition for you, considering that Curtizi is one of the highly mechanical mid laners all throughout this tournament, and you're just giving him an Angela. So is that really the best lineup for NIP Flash they have to offer up against S2G Esports?
It's a give and take, right? Oh, Tempest of Blades? Okay. Hades will just use it to get away from the shadow kill. But back to the point, man. I feel like, yeah, it's a gamble you're playing. You're putting Curtizi, a very mechanical sound player, on an Angela, but it also enhances Hades, who's ridiculous too on those mechanics. This team was once called Hades.
Yeah.
Hades, you know, we're not going to say it here, but, you know, NIP Flash.
Yeah.
Turtle number 2, it does seem like for both of the teams, they both have assassins. They do not want to contest for the neutral objectives. They'd rather just farm up and wait for those power spikes to hit, and then they might go and fight. This might be like a 1 turtle game, 2 turtle game.
Yeah, it's going to be a stalemate. Right now, NIP Flash also considered as the Singapore All-Star team.
Oh, yeah.
And we can expect that, because again, we have to wait for Kazue to scale up, for Hades to scale up, and specifically for NIP Flash, they're really banking on that Angeline combination. And if it fails, if Hades gets picked off and delays his power spike, it's going to be detrimental for their team.
Oh, gank up top.
Oh, Siggy Boom! The Turkish Triggerman will fall down in hands of 2 members of NIP Flash. Now S2G wants to go for the trade, trying to take down the turtle.
Oh, bursting it down. Kazue gets the retreat down. Diablo with a stun. Mid lane, Raging Sandstorm.
And it's going to connect, but JBL catches it midair with the Way of the Dragon. Hades goes in with the Tempest of Blades to bring down Lunar as well. And NIP Flash, we thought it was going to be a stalemate, but right now they're going for the clashes, brawling in the mid lane.
Woo. Just like that, it's another trade on. S2G were the ones to get 2 kills for 1 turtle for NIP Flash. And now it's the opposite. Now it's NIP Flash who are going for the kills. S2G securing the turtle. And Sigiboom just barely surviving, or helping that turret to survive. Curtizi, what happened in the mid lane? A feathered airstrike took him real low.
And the kill onto Sigiboom onto the top lane really worked wonders for Vanex. Gave him a lot of space to work with, but JPL saw 5 members of S2G Esports just instantly got deleted in the map.
Quick moves by S2G around the map. These rotations have really helped them get kills, pickoffs around the map, but you can see Hades doing the same thing in the bottom lane, as devilish as ever with the trades.
Oh, almost got caught there with the Wiki Shadow Kill plus the Feathered Airstrike. And now they're going to turn Cicerone onto the top lane. AOG going to be committed onto Vanex, but manages to evade that. 3 heroes of S2G, but goes in with a Spear of Destruction, wants to go 1v1 with Siggy Bomb. Here comes the Hard Guard. Okay, the clash. Oh, look at Hades. Onto the back line. Tempest of Blades.
Coming down already. JPL with the G-Kundo. The turret taken down. NIP Flash using the Hard Guard. SOD now. Hades walking in again onto Siggy Boom. Just a bit of damage. A Feather Airstrike will shoot them away. But they use that aggression to just get the turret.
And this is the clear advantage of NIP Flash. Even if they're outnumbered at any given moment, Curtizi is ready to cast his Hard Guard, whether onto Vanex, whether onto Hades, and at the same time, they're really utilizing the capabilities of their lineup. They have a Ling and a Moskov that's good when it comes to macro gameplay. So even if clashes aren't going on, they could just play the long game and just go for the split pushes, catch S2G Esports off guard, and right now, Raging Sandstorm is going to connect, plus the Feathered Airstrike going in, ganking up onto Diablo, but he casts his Revitalizing Glorious Pathway on time. He stays alive!
And Hades comes in now, goes in for the assassination. Tempest ablaze in the back, Sigiboom still has to purify in time. Pagu thrown at a spear from Vanex, and it will be a 2-for-1. NIP Flash with the dub in the trade as Hades goes for the purple buff. Just look at Kazue, looking for an angle to probably try to go for the pickoff, but he won't be able to look for it.
And that's a good pickoff, especially considering that the first Lord has spawned, so NIP Flash can just focus on clearing out the minions, gonna get a lot of minion waves pushed so they can position better in this Lord pit. A huge play coming in from NIP Flash to catch S2G Esports off guard, despite S2G actually starting that clash. So NIP Flash, again, going back to their composition, it's easy for them to re-engage and respawn no matter what S2G does to them.
It's very clear from what Begin got, the roam boots here, what they want to do. They want to just stick together and fight Feathered Airstrike, forcing JPL out, but that's a big resource burnt out. Now SOD.
Oh, SOD gonna connect onto Siggy Bomb, pops the spear right here comes the AOG. He's gonna bring down Siggy Bomb, just going and working onto Pagu. The Revitalize is there, but Hades goes in with a Semblance of Blaze.
Gets the kill, Pagu is down. Now Kazuha's looking for the trade. Lunar trying to screen Hades. But it's not enough. NIP Flash are just too quick with it. And even if Siggy Boom purifies out of one, there are many, many more to come. Diablo with the glorious pathway, JPL with the G Kundo, and then Phoenix comes in, teleporting behind you. Now it's a Lord. First Lord. Should be taken by NIP Flash. Nothing S2G can really do about it.
Kazue and the rest of the members of S2G just gonna have to give it away to NIP Flash. And so far, this is still winnable or defable for S2G, and at the same time, as long as they are able to save their mid lane turret and just keep their jungle area away from NIP Flash, Kazue can still manage to bounce back and later on activate Siggy Boom's power spike. Again, this is a Bruno that we've seen win a lot of games, and up against a team like NIP Flash, I mean, S2G Esports, they really need to get the pick off that they really want.
Gotta wait for that power spike for Siggy Boom, though. He is 400 gold behind. Vanix has hit his item power spike. That's the holy trinity of the attack speed items. Before Siggy Boom on the Bruno, we all know what the real power spike is now. Usually, Cosclaws, Berserkers, all good. Now you gotta wait for that Mlbb gun to be a real threat, a 1v5 kind of carry. So S2G, it can still bank on that. Begin already got the Wishing Lantern too, so he should be able to provide some good poke over to Vanix. Vanix has just been so elusive in these skirmishes, man. Waiting on the SOD, getting so much room from Diablo and JPL too. So he hasn't been poked at all by the Feathered Airstrikes.
S2G just gonna make quick work of this Lord down bottom. Holy Shields are still intact. Let's see if NIP Flash will force a clash. Again, JPL has his Flicker, has his Way of the Dragon. Now they're just depriving S2G Esports of the necessary buffs that Kazue especially needs to scale up quickly with his Hayabusa.
The Mlbb gun already secured by Siggy Boom, so that's the item we were waiting for S2G. But for NIP Flash, fleeting time too for Curtizi. So a bit more utility to play. The hard guard's going to be on a lower cooldown now, so we can actually look for maybe the cross-map plays around to try to force S2G or punish S2G, who really like to clump up together. So far, even when they're clumping up, they really haven't been able to get the most out of it, right?
Yeah.
NIP Flash have just found ways to split them up or beat them in their front to back. They just dive, man. I don't know how to say it. NIP Flash are local.
Yeah, a lot of credit also goes to the glorious pathway, because every time you see the Feathered Airstrike committed, it's always just one or two that connects.
Yep.
And after that, NIP Flash doesn't want to play around the vicinity of the Feathered Airstrike. So NIP Flash really does have a lot of mobility to stay away from the aggressive ultimates that S2G can't pour onto them.
It's mobility and then it's sustain, right? Because when you get poked out, JPL
gets taunted out, and this time gets bursted down by 5 members of S2G. That's one problem crossed out by S2G against NIP Flash.
Everything in the kitchen sink, man. That was 4 ultimates. Poor JPL, man. Just got ambushed like that. But back to the point, mobility, but also sustain. NIP Flash, the reason they've been able to neutralize the Farsa threat was because of Curtizi always healing them back up with the photo.
Yeah.
If you can burst someone down like that, then yeah, the healing doesn't really play into the game that much. If you can one-shot or evaporate the members of NIP Flash like they just did to JPL. Hades will steal the purple buff. This is the benefit of having Hayabusa. You're not really too reliant on the purple buff in the later stage of the game, even in the early game. So Kazue should still be fine. What's really going to be concerning is the fact that
they're going in, Glorious Pathway again, and they're going to bring down the Tarkus Trigger, man! All of a sudden, S2G Esports has to walk away. They have no damage. They have no Pagu as well. And NIP Flash will play this by the book, going to go instead for the second Lord.
That was speed in a flash. S2G just lost their gold laner. You blink and you miss it. NIP Flash are too fast, and for S2G, they've got no peel. Hades secures the second Lord of the game, and this time it will be an enhanced Lord. Even though S2G have great high ground, they should be able to clear out the waves with Siggy Boom and Begin on these picks. I don't know about the dive. You try to go for your ultimates on the Lord, and then Mr. Man Vanix comes around, Hades comes around, and Diablo pops in the red carpet for everybody to walk in your face.
And that's the thing, even Vanix voluntarily dives onto the backline just to try and stop the feathered airstrike from being fully utilized for the side of S2G Esports. And now NIP Flash has the luxury of having the Enhanced Lord into the middle lane. They can actually take out all inhibitor turrets, or better yet, end the game right now.
That's a base turret in the mid lane taken down. The feather airstrike baited out. Diablo goes in.
With a glorious pathway and trying to zone out the rest of the members of S2G. They're doing their best to try and clear it out as NIP Flash takes down 2 inhibitors. 1 inhibitor turret left for them to take down.
2 base turrets. Fortunately for S2G, it isn't the far lane, so they should be able to still manage the waves, though it is going to be tough. NIP Flash, though, they're going to stay disciplined with it. Now they're going to bring in another wave up top. Hades is ready. Feather airstrike
goes in with the templates of Blade, but gets kicked down by JPL as well. Hades continuing his onslaught. 4 blades onto Kazue. Here comes the counter attack coming in from S2G. In a response, Kazue gets a kill, but Vanix is the main problem of S2G Esports, just focusing on the base. And NIP Flash, 1 more hit to bring down the Crystal and take this game.
Diabolical from NIP Flash. S2G wanted to brawl it out. They wanted to fight. S2G could not do it. NIP Flash went straight for the base. There was nothing else set in their sights except for that crystal. Every single member went for it. And even though S2G got the free hits on Siggy Boom, even though they got their win conditions towards the end, everything except for Begin dying, it was not enough. At that point, it was 14 minutes and 59 seconds. NIP Flash, they couldn't wait a single second for that 15-minute mark. No, they had to end it right there, right now.
The improvement of NIP Flash after losing to CFU, beating Aurora, and this time beating S2G.
Well, take it away, man. What do you think about the game?
Way more. It almost feels like the OG Frederick is just like, okay, I'm coming in, I'm red 3, I'm going to slow you down, and I'm going to keep on harassing you guys. We're looking at MVP highlights here, and again, Curteasy is not all about Hades. There are moments where he goes inside Vannings and et cetera, but the aggression, we really got to highlight the aggression of Hades here, showing a full understanding as well as full trust to his team. Whenever he goes in, there will always be a backup.
Yeah, and they were always together, so it even meant they need not necessarily target Begin first. Like they were, I mean, for the past 3 highlights, it was always Pagu that they were going after, and they didn't need to pursue the fight anymore. But in this particular situation, they had all the liberty to do just that. They can target whoever they want, although punished. But it was really just about ending the game at this point. This was when Vanix was just looking for all the angles. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, and again, something satisfying about seeing a long-range Moss